ranked it as the single hardest Easter egg to complete in all of Call of Duty. Black Ops 4's remaster of Mob of the Dead, called Blood of the Dead, has the lengthiest and the hardest Easter egg to complete out of any Call of Duty game. So today I'm going to get stuck into this map and see if I can manage to get it done solo. This is a return to greatness. So I loaded up Black Ops 4 the other day, and my first thought was, holy shit, this game feels amazing. So I feel like a return to Black Ops 4 is in order. What better way to celebrate a return to Black Ops 4 than doing the hardest Easter egg ever made here on Blood of the Dead? Okay, so that's enough points. We got our work cut out for us today, you know? The Blood of the Dead Easter egg is like the Garrod Crovey Easter egg, except on steroids, with the challenges and everything. And to make things even harder for myself, I decided to only run Secret Sauce, which is basically like this game's Wonder Fizz, except there's a million perks in Black Ops 4. So the chance of us actually getting one of the good ones, it's not optimal. It's not optimal to be running full Secret Sauce. This should be fun though. I want to try out some random perks and whatnot today. See how freaky we can get with the perks. Obviously, first things first, fill up the dog, get the retriever. I'm kind of like really excited for some reason. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I'm like a masochist or something. I don't know what's going on. All right, that's done. I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna go through this round, I guess. I don't know where the last guy is, but whatever. Let's go ahead and get the other side of the spawn opened up. You know what? I wouldn't mind hitting the box one time before leaving this area. Get the first power switch on. There couldn't just be one. There's got to be two. Don't mind if I do. 300. Oh, I guess he was low. I recently played through all the Black Ops 6 maps, so I feel like I have those ones fresh on the brain. I gotta switch gears. I gotta switch gears. This Easter egg is not like those ones at all. Okay, I think I could shoot him 3 times and then a knife to maximize points out of these guys. Let's get something out of the box. Just something. That's not something though. I'm gonna use it. I don't want to waste all my points early on. Okay. Obviously, I'm running the katana. Just very useful for getting around this giant-ass map quickly. I don't even know if I remember how to do all this, is the thing. Gotta get across the catwalk. These guys give you points, too. I kind of like the catwalk. Just like, this is all extra zombies, and it's all just free points. Oh, God. Except you can really die. You can die. I was a little low on HP there. Okay. Dude, I'm just trying to make it into the actual map. You got these guys that poke their arms through that just slap you and keep you from regenning your health. Oh, Gutierrez. Oh, come on. Tell me this isn't a hype intro to a map. Tell me this doesn't make you want to play some Blood of the Dead. Oh, my God. This is like unironically a top 20 map of all time for me. Like unironically. All right, so we're looking for the first thing we got to do is build a shield and get the retriever and get monkey bombs. To get the free monkey bombs, I'm going to need a level 2 specialist. So I kind of want to try to really min-max this specialist and get as many kills with it as I can. So let's just group them all up. Oh, look how many zombies that is. That's a thing of beauty. Okay, then I just stand close to them and pull it out, and all of those zombies are going to respawn, but it all counts towards my XP. This map, more than any other map ever, you really need to maximize it and get as much done on as little rounds as possible. All right, let's go. Okay. Nice. I think I'm going to try to do like one Black Ops 4 Zombies map a week. Play through them all with some sort of silly twist, like using Secret Sauce. Okay, gotta like full on focusing on keeping this train up. All right, it's done. Doggy 2 is done. Is my shield part here? That means it's over towards there, which I can worry about in a second. Let's make our way all the way to the second power switch. All right, let's come in here, get the second power, the lower side. I don't know what it's called. Something that spawns me in a warden. This is why I would have liked to have like just a somewhat decent weapon. It's not this big old scope thing. I really don't enjoy that. Got him. Oh yeah, man. That gives me the part. Oh, it also gave me a full power. All right, you know what? I'm gonna just do this again. And just try to get my level up as quick as possible. I guess I should try to kill some with it with you. Kind of want to keep my zombies for the other dog. Yeah, here's the shield part. All I need is the little spectral essence, which I think I know exactly where it is. Should be right over here on the thing. Yes, sir. I still remember the spawns, dude. This map is so, you gotta memorize a lot of shit. So it's funny, I played through all the Black Ops 6 maps, and that video came out to like 2 hours and 20 minutes. I think this video is going to be like half of that. And this is just one map. This is one Easter egg. All right, we got the secret sauce. 415. 415. Let's go ahead and grab this. See what I get. Winner's Whale. Oh my God, that's beautiful. Wow, that's beautiful. Even in the modifier spot, that's a more than a fine perk to have in the tonic spot. That's actually so beautiful. Got the wiki pulled up here. In the modifier spot, it gives you 4 charges instead of 3. Winter's Whale, for those of you who are only played BO3 or whatever, it's basically Widow's Wine, except it can't kill your last zombie. It just like freezes them in place instead of actually killing them. Great perk. Maybe the best perk in the whole game. I usually put stamina up in my modifier spot, but you know, Winter's Whale is probably the next best day. All right, let's go for that. All right, we're done. I should have been getting
ranking every Call of Duty Zombies map. I know that ranking zombie maps is kind of overdone, it's a little outplayed by now, but the fact is that most of these map rankings are wrong, okay? I have the best map ranking of all time. This is Treyarch only, so sorry to the 4 of you that are pissed off because I don't want to rank Infection or the Tortured Path, alright? It's not happening. The criteria for this ranking is very simple. It's basically just going to be how fun the map is. Okay, that's pretty basic. How good is the map at being that specific map style? So for example, a map like Keynote or Toten is really hard to compare to a map like Origins because they're just so different. And our third category is going to be unique features and elements that that map has. These features don't necessarily have to be like amazing features, they just have to be well implemented. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with number 55 in this epic map ranking. So number 55 actually goes to the entirety of Vanguard Zombies. And the reason is because a lot of these maps are basically the exact same thing as one another. Dur Unfang, Terra Maledicta, and the Archon are basically all the same map. Shitty outbreak objectives from Cold War that they decided to scale down into Zombies maps and sell to the public. It's extremely disrespectful to the overall Zombies community for Treyarch to put out something like this and expect us to just love it. The freaking IGN reviews of this were obviously bought and paid for. The developers obviously did not playtest this crap. And the worst part of the whole thing is that the community tries to sort of bring up Shinonuma Reborn as like, you know, oh, it's not that bad. Bro, why are we accepting a Shinonuma remaster? Okay, it's like the laziest thing ever. I get it, all right? It's the most like classic Zombies experience that we've had in a while. And I actually do agree with that. But I am not going to tolerate Treyarch's nonsense and entertain Shinonuma Reborn for them. It's not happening. So at number 54, this might surprise a lot of people, but we have Transit. All right, so Transit sucks. Okay, we all know Transit sucks, but what I've noticed over the past couple years is people have been kind of, you know, light on Transit. They've been like, you know what, Transit really wasn't that bad, guys. Maybe we just overhated it. Maybe it was because, you know, there was just less Zombies maps back then. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. Transit is the worst Zombies map outside of Vanguard. Now, some people lately have been saying, oh, but it's fun with friends if you, like, mess around on Transit. And I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, I agree. You can hop on here with your buddies, ride the bus for a little bit, maybe hit the box a couple times, maybe even get a couple perks. But that's it, okay? You're going to die on round freaking 11, okay? From the fire or from not having any ammo because there's no wall weapons. The Pack-a-Punch quest is the worst in all of COD Zombies, in my opinion. The wonder weapon, the jet gun, is literally unusable unless you're like 1% of players who actually know how to fully optimize that thing. But here's the thing, bro. The majority of people are never going to even use the jet gun because of how annoying it is to build. You're going to spend 30 minutes building the jet gun because you can't grab all the parts at once. You have to grab each individual piece by itself and go back and forth to the stupid crafting table over and over, and all of the parts are extremely far apart from each other, and they're in parts of the map that you would otherwise never go to other than to grab that one part. There's no reason that you should go to the cabin in the woods. There's no reason that you should ever go to Nocturne and Totem. Those places purely exist to waste time for the player. You're going to end up running out of ammo in the fog, so you can't shoot the denizens anymore. You're going to have to freaking start knifing the denizens off your face while you're running through the cornfields to get your freaking parts for the jet gun, which breaks and is completely unusable. We all know why transit sucks. Okay, we all know. I'm not really going to get more into it. Just watch literally anybody else's video talking about transit. But we're going to go ahead and go on to the next spot. And at number 53, we have Firebase Z. So this is going to be the beginning of many modern COD Zombies maps, and it's basically because I do have some type of hatred for modern COD Zombies, and I think that Firebase Z is just the worst of the modern system. Do I think the modern COD Zombie system is the worst system? I don't. I think that Vanguard Zombies is worse. I think that World War II Zombies was worse, but I think overall Firebase Z is the worst of the modern age zombies because it feels the most lazy. And that's just an overall problem with Cold War zombies in general. It literally just feels like there was almost no time or passion put into these maps. Like, to be honest, Firebase actually has the most unique setting in the sense of the least amount of campaign assets were used to make this map than any other Cold War map. The bosses on this map are honestly the worst part. Like, the Mimic and the Mangler, I'll admit, okay, the Mangler returning for the first time was really cool, okay? The Mimic, you know, being added as a boss was really cool. I think that the Mimic is actually a really cool idea for a boss. But the problem is that there's multiple of them per round. And they're not as weak as a Hellhound, and they're not as strong as a Panzer, but they're like in between, right? And you end up having to use the majority of your ammo on them, on the Mimics. They're so annoying. You end up having to use Ring of Fire and a freaking Gallows shotgun basically every game just so you can kill the bosses. Like, oh my god, I just can't do it, bro. I literally can't. And at number 52, we have Forsaken, another Cold War Zombies map. Talk about lazy. Oh my god, this has got to be like the laziest setting for a COD Zombies map of all time. If you've ever played the Cold War campaign, then you know that this is literally just the campaign mission with zombies on it. And it becomes even more apparent when you realize that because this is a campaign mission, it was not built for the zombies mode. Well, the flow of the map isn't really going to work, right? So how did they fix that issue? They just put a bunch of portals all around the map. It just feels so lazy. Like, I can't do it. The one thing that I like about this map, to be honest, and this might be controversial, I think the Abomination is a cool boss. I do. Alright, and this is the map where it brought that. I think the Wonder Weapon is cool, but at the end of the day, all of these modern zombies maps suffer from the same issue that plagues all of them and rips away all of their uniqueness. And that is the gameplay mechanics. Modern zombies gameplay mechanics. I'm talking the point system, the stupid Warzone engine. Like, I just can't do it, man. The weapon rarities, the pack-a-punch system, the kill streaks, everything about modern COD Zombies that takes away the original appeal and shine that it had to begin with. This problem affects all modern zombie games, all of them. And that's why they're all basically going to be right next to each other on this list, because they're not necessarily unique. They're unique in their setting and maybe a Wonder Weapon or something, but that's about it. And in a lot of cases, the Wonder Weapon isn't even the best option to use because the kill streaks are better. And at number 51, this is going to piss off and surprise a lot of people, but it's going to be Liberty Falls, man. I think Liberty Falls is the textbook example of everything wrong with a COD Zombies map, but dumbed down even more. It has the same issues as every other modern COD Zombies map, but it just feels even more unambient and uninspiring. Every Black Ops 6 Zombies map suffers from the mutant injection strategy, where everybody just uses the mutant injection for high rounds and nobody uses any of the diverse weapons in the game. The core gameplay mechanics completely ruin any uniqueness that this map could have. The boss spam on this map is extremely annoying. I really don't have a problem with the Abomination. That's not too bad. It's mainly just the Mangler spam. We all know how bad the Mangler spam was on launch, okay? If you were here for it, you know. It was toned down a bit, but it's still bad, okay? And this map just has, like, no ambience at all. Even after they updated it, when people complained about it, it still just does not feel like a Zombies map. It just feels like a Warzone POI. And yeah, this map just suffers from the BO6 problem, and so does our next map. The Tomb is 1% better than Liberty Falls. Okay? It's basically the same map. Tell me, other than aesthetics, what is so different between the two? Tell me. Because I can't think of anything. The Wonder Weapon, sure. Okay, maybe. But who cares about the freaking Ice Staff when the mutant injection is in the game? Why would you care? The only reason that I'm putting the Tomb above Liberty Falls is because the Dark Ether area looks cool. That's it. Okay, the map looks more like a Zombies map than Liberty Falls does. And in fact, there's some parts of the ambience that actually piss me off. The Origins music that plays when you're walking through the map actually infuriates me because it does not deserve to play that music. Nuh-uh. The Origins music is only for a good map, okay? And it's for Origins, it's not for this map. So it pissed me off. The Ice Staff returning just felt extremely disrespectful and lazy. Alright, look, if you're gonna bring back a staff wonder weapon, right? Then why not bring back all of them? Like, why was it just the Ice Staff? That just feels weird to me. Like, I don't understand. If you're gonna have 4 players play the map, why not bring back 4 staffs? But in general, the staffs just don't deserve to be on this map, man. Let them stay on the map that they belong on. Don't ruin their image and their name by throwing them on this hunk of garbage. Number 49, we have another Cold War Zombies map, and that's going to be Mauer der Toten. And basically the only reason that I think it's above the other Cold War maps is I like the setting of the map. I think the Berlin Wall is a really cool idea, even if it doesn't really feel like the Berlin Wall. And I think the Wonder Weapon is really cool. That's about it. It's another one of those campaign missions that was turned into a Zombies map by throwing zip lines around it and shit. Because the Cold War Zombies mechanics exist, this map really does not feel that much different from Forsaken or Firebase. I just like the setting more, and that's the only reason that it's above the other maps. Okay, and we're finally on the last Cold War Zombies map, thank God. And we're on D Machine, okay? D Machine is my favorite of the Cold War Zombies maps because when the game came out, me and my friends grinded this shit. It was really fun at the time, but that's really the only reason that I'm putting it above the other ones. I think that this map kind of fits in with the Cold War mechanics the most of any other map, and I just had more fun on it. I have more memories on it. I think the boss on this map is actually really good, the Megaton, and there's not just like an annoying boss spam like Firebase Z has. But that's really about it, man. The freaking Die Wonder Weapon is ass. Like, the best Wonder Weapon in the game, in all honesty, is the M16 with Ring of Fire. But from my experience with Cold War Zombies, I just had the most fun playing this one, and really, it's the only reason that it's here. I do still think it has the laziness problem that the rest of Cold War has, and it's like the Nocturne Totem setting. It's like, really, man? Like, why are we doing that again? But yeah, I'd be lying if I said that I didn't have fun on this map when the game came out. So, yeah. D Machine goes right here. And at number 47, we have Shattered Veil. Alright, this is the newest map to be released at the time of this recording. And Shattered Veil, amongst the overall community, has this sentiment of being the map that saved Black Ops 6 Zombies. That is false. Are you kidding me? Okay, yeah, I get it. The dinosaur boss fight is cool. Double tap returning is cool. I think the map has a cool setting. Alright, I'm with you on that. But it's not great. It's mediocre at best. And the zombie scene has become so stale over the past few years that any shine of mediocrity is praised and lifted to be a savior. Okay? Shattered Veil is literally the definition of mediocrity. That is it, bro. Like, what are we doing? Yeah, it's better than the Tomb, I get it. It's better than Liberty Falls, okay? But it still suffers from the same problem, like I said before, that modern zombies has. The mutant injection problem, the stupid point system, the kill streaks, those, at the end of the day, are what ruin modern zombies, and Shattered Veil is no exception. It falls in the exact same boat. And now we actually have a Black Ops 4 Zombies map, alright? I'm sure that people were waiting for this. I think Voyage of Despair is the worst BO4 Zombies map. Now, yes, the overall gameplay mechanics of BO4 are not necessarily desirable, but I do think that they're better than the modern COD Zombies mechanics. So BO4 automatically has some type of advantage over modern zombies, but this is not the good example. It comes down to the map layout, alright? I actually kind of like the storyline, like the Chaos storyline, and I wish it was expanded upon more in Black Ops 4, but it really just comes down to the map, okay? The layout itself was designed to be a ship, alright? To, like, transport people across the ocean, alright? It wasn't made to be a zombies map. And they really did try to copy it as if it was the real ship, which I do appreciate, but they just kind of flopped with it. Like, they didn't really do a good job at making it flow well as a zombies map. The Wonder Weapon is extremely underwhelming, and the Kraken is just not it. The Catalyst Zombies, which is a Chaos map problem, just feels worse on this map because of the cramped spaces and just the awful layout. In my opinion, this is the one BO4 map I would avoid. And at number 45, this is the second BO4 map I would avoid, and that is Alpha Omega. I do think Alpha Omega is overhated, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think it's as unplayable as Voyage of Despair, but it's still not great. What is wrong exactly with this map? I actually really like the setting. I know that a lot of people are very against Nuketown because it's just so overdone, and we already have a Nuketown Zombies map. But in reality, I actually like the 1950s, 1960s, like, nuclear family aesthetic. Like, I think it looks really cool. Like, I don't know. I wish I lived back in that time, right? So I don't know. I like it. This map was actually not made by Treyarch. It was made by Activision Shanghai, I believe. So it was made by, like, another branch of developers. So you can tell that that's why this map doesn't really feel like Treyarch Zombies. It kind of feels like a COD mobile experience, if you get what I'm saying. Because it's just like a mosh pit of a bunch of stuff that people like, but it doesn't really have the soul that a Zombies map is supposed to have. Maybe that's just because it's on the BO4 system, and I feel like this map would have been much better on like a BO3 type system. I don't get it. The Wonder Weapons are lazy. It's just another set of Elemental Ray Gun Mark IIs, which, by the way, you can only do if you're playing online. You can't even get those if you're playing local. It's supposed to be, like, a simpler map, in my opinion, but it's just not. It's, like, trying to be a grandiose, like, Mob of the Dead Origins type map, but it just doesn't have the feel. It does add the bunker, which adds basically an entire new map under Nuketown, but, like, it's just taken from Blackout. It just feels lazy, man. BO4 Zombies, the Ether maps specifically, just feel extremely lazy, and I just can't justify ranking it any higher. Yep, that's right. I believe Bus Depot is better than every map that I've already said. I think that Bus Depot, although it has nothing on it, it basically just has a box and a couple of wall guns, I think that it's good at what it's trying to do, and it's trying to be a bare-bones survival map. Now, I guess it's kind of hard to fuck up being a bare-bones survival map, but I still don't think it's an awful experience. I remember me and my friends having a good time trying to get to round 40 on this map at one point. It was absolutely insane. My highest round on this map actually is 40 with co-op. So I don't know, there's just something about the map. Although it's simple, I like it. Like, I have a better experience on Bus Depot than I do on Voyage of Despair. Just generally speaking, I do. In a game like Black Ops 2 where you have big, crazy maps, this is a nice little thing to do every once in a while just to kind of have fun, just to kind of challenge yourself. It's super simple, super basic, and you might hate me for it, but yes, I'm ranking it at this spot. And right above it at number 43, we have Farm. Farm is basically just Bus Depot, but it has perks. That's about it. Yeah, it's a little bigger. I mean, you can go you know, upstairs in the barn, you go upstairs in the house. That's really about it. It's not super crazy, but it also does have that same feeling that Bus Depot has, where it feels like it's good at what it's trying to be, which is just a bare-bones survival map. I mean, this is just the Verrucht of Black Ops 2, basically, so it doesn't really do anything wrong, but I do think that it's better than every map that I've mentioned already. Alright, now we got Die Rise. We got a bunch of BO2 maps here at the bottom, and this one is not escaping the wrath. Alright, this one is on the chopping block too. Die Rise sucks. Now, the BO3 remaster is actually really good because it fixes basically all of the stupid, dumb stuff in the BO2 version. But if we have to only speak about the BO2 version, you know, it's just not great. The elevator key only works one time. You have to carry every single part individually. You can't carry all parts at once. The Liquefier is admittedly a really cool and good wonder weapon, but it just doesn't really fit the map. Like, I've definitely fallen off the map by shooting the goo and then I run in it before. So, the perks, yeah, you can get a free perk from the jumping jacks, but the free perks are freaking Who's Who and Mule Kick. Like, what? And Who's Who, by the way, is god-awful. It's like the worst map they ever could have put Who's Who on. Put it literally on any other map and it would have been fine. But this map locks you out of certain areas. Once you go to another building, you have to run around the entire map to get back to that building, just so you can revive yourself with Who's Who. It's just like a terrible implementation of a new perk, in my opinion. It's just awful. And I don't know, dude. Die Rise, it was a cool idea. They were trying something different, but it just did not work. So I actually do appreciate Classified. I think this is one of the better BO4 reimaginings, and I think that it works well with the BO4 mechanics. To be honest though, like, if we have to compare it to 5, it's not 5, right? Like, it's trying to be, but it's not, and I just can't really rank it any higher. I do like the setting, and I like the atmosphere of the map for sure. In fact, I actually like the new additions besides the Area 51 Pack-a-Punch, which is just lazy. But I mean, I do like Classified. I like playing it. The Winter's Howl was better. Elevator camping with Stone Cold Stronghold is how you play this map and have a fun time, in my opinion. Now, a lot of people don't like this map for the Easter egg, and I 100% understand that. Round 150 is absolutely stupid. I don't even know why that was approved. But, yeah, Classified, I think it deserves a spot. It's not necessarily great, but it's not terrible either. It's just a shittier version of 5. And at number 40, we have one of the better modern COD Zombies maps, and that is Citadel Daymore. Giving this map a chance really showed me that Treyarch still has the capability to make a map that's worth playing. It's just, like I said before, the modern Zombies mechanics. Imagine this map on BO3, but just how much better it would be without having all the Black Ops 6 core gameplay mechanics. Like, oh my god, and that's how I feel about most maps in BO6, to be honest, and most maps in Cold War as well. But, I mean, I'll give credit where it's due, okay? I like the swords. I do. They're not super creative, because we already had 4 wonder weapons in a castle before. But, they're cool, okay? However, they are nothing compared to the mutant injection. Again, it's just a BO6 problem at the core. The problems that plague this map are the same reasons why I'm not going to rank the next map any higher. And at number 39, we have Terminus. Okay, it's the last modern COD Zombies map. It has the exact same issues that Citadel Daymore has. It's just, like not unique. I mean, because you end up having to use the mutant injection to get the high rounds. It's just how it is. The Beam Smasher is awful. Now, you don't have to have a good wonder weapon to make the map good, and I firmly believe in that. It's just pointless. It's literally pointless. And I'm going to rank these two maps side by side, because what's different about either of them from the next? Just the setting? That's about it. The only reason that I'm putting Terminus above Citadel is because I like the ending boss fight in the Easter egg more. That's literally the only reason. It deserves to be in this spot right next to Citadel. Now, this might get me a little bit of hate, but at number 38, we have Town. I don't think Town has aged necessarily as well as people think. I know that a lot of people have very fond memories of this map. This is probably one of the top 5 most loved and remembered map amongst casuals. However, if you go back to play this solo, it's really boring. Like, once you get past round 25, you're kind of just like, you know, bored. Like, I mean, yeah, you just run circles with a ray gun over and over. But I don't think it's a bad map for co-op. This map with friends or public matches is so much better, and that is the superior way to play. You know, like you have a person camping at Quick Revive, a person camping at Double Tap, a person up by the MP5, maybe a guy training. I don't know. It's better with people. But going back to playing it solo, it is really boring and underwhelming, and I just don't think it holds up as much as people think. Now, Nuketown is so similar to Town that I feel like I had to put it right next to Town, but this map just does some things better. The random perk spawns, I know people hate those, but that's what makes the map unique. Like, the map is differentiated from Town because of that feature. And the map is also generally harder than Town, I would say, because, like, it's just more compact and, you know, there's more clutter and stuff everywhere. So it's just harder to survive on this map. It keeps you on your toes more, and I think that those two things are what make the high rounds a bit more enjoyable than Town. It's just a harder map, and I think that that makes this map better than the regular Town. But I know that that's kind of an unpopular opinion, but it's just my opinion. And at number 36, we have the finale of the Ether storyline, and that is Tog Your Totem. What an underwhelming finale, but what an underrated map itself. The map plays really good. I think that this is one of the few maps that actually work with the BO4 mechanics, but for it to be a finale of the Ether storyline, like really, we have the Transit Crew on a Call of the Dead reimagining, that just feels like a slap in the face, man. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. We have a shittier version of the Wonder Waff, the Tundra Gun, which aren't bad wonder weapons, but they're just, like, not what we expected for the finale. I just can't put it any higher than this, man. I'm gonna put Tog Your Totem here at the bottom. I don't think it deserves to go up any higher. And at number 35, we have a World at War map, and that is the World at War version of Verrückt. I actually like Verrückt, but I think that the World at War version is just the most unplayable to go back to. I actually went back and played this with one of my friends, and, like, God, this map is insane. Now, I get it, that's the point of this map. It's supposed to be crazy. But it's almost unplayable. Like, the zombies just run into you, and then they get stuck into your body, like you can see in this gameplay here. And, like, it's just, like, hard for all the wrong reasons, in my opinion, because World at War itself is just so clunky, and it just does not work with these crazy zombies in this game. Like, it just doesn't. So I think that World at War on Verrückt, it's definitely something you can go back to. It's just the most unplayable version of this map, so I'm going to put it here at number 35. And at number 34, we have our first Black Ops 3 map, and that is going to be the Zombies Chronicles version of Shinonuma. This map does not do anything wrong. It just seems a little out of place. It just seems like the most undesirable map to play when comparing it to other Chronicles maps and the other versions of Shinonuma. The Wonder Fizz and the Pack-a-Punch Gobblegums aren't necessarily a negative for the map. It just kind of takes away the original appeal that this version of the map had to begin with. But I will say the World at War remasters on Chronicles do have this sort of vibe to them, which is pretty nice. Like I said, this map doesn't do anything wrong, it just doesn't do enough for me to rank it any higher. And right above that, we have the VO1 version of Shinonuma, which in my opinion was the original design for Shinonuma. Basically, the whole 24 zombies around thing on the World at War version just kind of takes away what I feel like this map was supposed to be. However, that doesn't make it the best. Quick Revive working on solo and just the better engine and the better weaponry in Black Ops 1 is definitely a welcome addition in my opinion, but does that make it better than the original? And I think the ultimate answer to that question is no. And at number 32, we have the World at War version of Shinonuma. Although this version is a bit scuffed, it has 24 zombies around, the World at War glitchy zombies and the way they hit you and they suck you in. Yeah, okay, I get it, it's not optimal. However, that's what makes Shinonuma unique in my opinion. If you want to play what I believe is the authentic version of this map, you can go play BO1. If you want to play a more enhanced version, go play BO3. But if you want to play the funnest version of Shinonuma in my opinion, you have to play the World at War version. This is the high round map. You can get to round like 10 freaking thousand on this map. I'm not even kidding, because of the 24 zombies per round, and you can use a trench gun to kill the dogs. Like, come on. It is something that makes this map unique and it makes it stand out amongst other zombies maps. But at the end of the day, Shinonuma is basically the most middle of the road map ever made. It doesn't do anything wrong. it just doesn't do enough. And at number 31, we have the Giant from Black Ops 3. This map is weird because it's not a Chronicles map, so it's not like a direct remaster, but it's also not like a BO4 reimagining. It's kind of in between, and I just don't think it holds up to this day. It was a very loved map on launch, but it kind of aged like milk, let's be real. I don't know what it is. I think it's just the overpowered BO3 weapons being so much better than like the OG World of War weapons. Or maybe it's the Gobblegums, or just the BO3 engine as a whole, Double Tap 2. Something about this version of the map is just boring. It makes it just, I don't know, it just doesn't have the original appeal that Darius had. And if I'm not comparing it to Darius, if I'm trying to think of it as its own map, I just think it's a very boring map and one of the worst options that BO3 has to offer. So, unfortunately, I love the Giant. I love what it did when it launched, but I gotta put it down here at number 31. So, starting at number 30, we are going to begin another stretch of World at War maps, and the worst version of Noct is the BO1 version. But that does not mean that this map is bad at all. We're done with the bad maps now. Now we're just at mid. Like, the BO1 version of Noct does absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, I'd say this is the more authentic version of how this map was originally supposed to be played, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the best, very similar to Shino Numa that we went over before. The Mule Kick addition is completely unoffensive, it doesn't do anything wrong, but it doesn't seem necessary. The Thunder Gun is also an extremely good weapon to have on this map as well, but it doesn't have something that makes the World at War version unique. And the World at War version, in my opinion, is a really fun map to just go back and play. Although it doesn't really have any features at all it has is a mystery box. For some reason, I just like to play this map. I just go back and play it. It's like my Subway Surfers background gameplay when I'm talking to my friends when I'm playing online. So, I don't get it. I just like this version of the map more so than the BO1 version. Although the weapons are worse. The World at War weapons are bad compared to the BO1 weapons. There is no Mule Kick here. However, this version of the map has a feature where the zombies won't hit you unless you stand completely still, which makes it better for high rounds, even though it doesn't have the Thunder Gun that the BO1 version has. You basically just have to train in the spawn room with a flamethrower. It is a challenge, don't get me wrong, but it is what makes this map unique, and it's always fun to go back and try to get around 50 on Nocturne Totem. This is going to be controversial, but in my opinion, the BO3 Chronicles Remastered version of Nocturne Totem is the best. The only thing that this map does not have, in my opinion, is that eerie aura that the World at War in the BO1 version had, but it has its own aura and vibe to it that is separate. Unlike the BO3 version of Shino Numa, this map actually welcomes the Gobblegums and the Wonder Fizz very well because the original Noct didn't have any of those features, while Shino Numa did have perks. The weaponry on BO3 Noct is better, but I feel like that's for the better of the map because the World at War weapons are just so bad. Like, the best weapon on this map originally was like the ray gun or the MG42, but a weapon like the HVK is just as good as the MG42. I don't think that that's necessarily a negative considering this map is so bare bones. However, Noct is still Noct. Yes, it introduced us to zombies, it was a great map when it came out, but it doesn't hold up as well today, and it's just kind of mid. The BO1 version of Erupt is again another example of why I think the BO1 remasters were the original intentions of these World at War maps. Like I said before, World at War of Erupt, yes, it's a classic, it's a good old time, but my god is it unplayable. The glitchiness of the zombies in that game when they hit you, the Juggernaut glitch, everything about World at War of Erupt is worse than this version. The BO1 weapons and engine are completely welcome in this version, except the Winter's Howl. I mean, this thing is kind of just a novelty wonder weapon. It's not really good at all, but it does make the map a bit more unique. I also met one of my best friends on this map like 10 years ago, so this map does hold a special place in my heart for that reason. It might be a little biased. I think this map deserves to be here. I feel the same way about BO3 Noct as I do BO3 Barucht. This map does nothing but get enhanced by the features of Black Ops 3. This does not mean that the BO1 versions of these maps are bad. In fact, I do love going back to play those versions. This is just a whole different experience. The original Barucht was so bare bones, and the BO1 version was so bare bones, that I think that the BO3 Gobblegums, perks, weapons, and even the Wonder Waff were all welcome additions. Like the BO3 version of Nocturne Toten, this version of BO3 Verrucht does lose that original vibe and aura that the classics had, but it has its own vibe and aura. This is also a map that is better played with randoms, in my opinion, or played co-op, because the map just gets more enhanced with more people. It's just a bare-bones survival map. There's nothing wrong with having more people. All it does is make it better. And starting off our top 25, we have Kino der Toten Black Ops 1. I like this map. And I also like the BO3 version of this map just about the same. I don't really like either map more than the other, to be honest. But the fact is that one of them has to be above the other. So I'm going to put BO1's version a little bit lower, okay? I like BO1 Kino der Toten. It does nothing wrong. It is the most basic zombies map you could ever imagine, but it does it worse than Derice does. Just saying. The addition of solo quick revive and the BO1 weapons are great, and the Thunder Gun is awesome too, but the map layout itself is just worse than that of Derice, and I feel like the maps are so similar that I have to compare the two. And it's just an inferior way to play Derice, in my opinion. The BO3 version of Kino is going to be number 24, and like I said before, it's really hard for me to put one over the other, but if I have to pick one, I'm going to say this one is better because of the Wonder Fizz edition, the better weapons in the box. I don't think those things take anything away from the map whatsoever, and that feel is still kind of there, the original BO1 feel, although I will say it's not completely there. The gobble gums in this game, you know, you can say what you want about them. The BO3 gums are kind of overpowered. But if you run classics, if you limit yourself on them, I do think that it's a grand old time. It does nothing offensive whatsoever. It's just a better run version of BO1 Kino. This is a map that has aged like fine wine, in my opinion. However, the BO3 version, in my opinion, is actually worse than the BO1 version. So I'm going to put the BO3 version right here. In fact, I think it's significantly worse. Shangri-La on BO3 is a good old time. I like going back to play it. But there is one major issue with this version of the map, and that is Widow's Wine. Widow's Wine actively perks the player on this map. The BO1 version of Shangri-La does have PhD Flopper, which works way better with the way that this map is laid out. The map is so claustrophobic that Mustang and Sally and a ray gun with PhD is what made this map fun. Widow's Wine replacing it does not work here at all, especially when it comes to using the wonder weapon, the shrink ray, because when you shoot the zombies, you know, and they're like ensnared in the webs and shit, and the way the BO3 zombies hit system works, so they smack you up like crazy, it just does not work. When you shoot them with the wonder weapon and you run into them and start kicking them everywhere, it might work for a little bit. It might be a fun little thing to do, but the BO3 system just doesn't work well with it at all. This map is absolutely gorgeous. I think it's the most beautiful BO3 Chronicles remaster, and I do like to play this map, but the BO1 version is significantly better, but I don't think that this map is necessarily bad either. I do think it is fun to go back and play it from time to time, and I think it is an extremely underrated map. And at number 22, we have Moon from Black Ops 1. I do think that this version is worse than the BO3 version, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. I love the freaking setting of this map. You're on the moon. Like, I don't know if many other settings can even come close to that. Although the execution for it wasn't too great, I will say there are definitely some issues with this map. Going back to the freaking spawn area to flip Speedcola and Juggernog, yeah, that's annoying. Okay, the excavators coming every 3 rounds or whatever, yeah, that's annoying. Don't get me freaking wrong. But if we try to not look at those negatives, we can try to look at the positives. I like the hacker. The hacker is such a unique item in zombies. You could do so much with the hacker, so much shit that I can't even name all of them. There's probably stuff that I don't even know, to be honest. Even though the QED is not as good as the Gersh device, it's still cool. Like, even though it's not good, I get it. It's just a cool thing to have in the map. It's a cool little novelty. But speaking of that, the Gersh device is on this map also, which is like the best monkey bomb ever. The zap guns and the slash wave gun are super freaking cool. Like, you're literally microwaving the zombies when you shoot them with the wave gun, and then you have like insta-kill pistols with the dual-wield zap guns. It's like this 1960s like sci-fi type thing. It's just so cool, man. And I wish that the map was better executed, but the theme and all the little features of this map just bring it up for me. The biodome, the freaking anti-gravity, all of it. Like, the ambience, literally every bit of it is such a unique and cool thing. I just wish it was better executed. Needing all 4 players, if you're playing co-op, to go to Area 51 is stupid. Don't get me wrong, I hate that. And the astronaut is annoying as well. But what really brings this map up, if it's not just the setting, is the Easter egg. We all know the BO1 Easter egg, how it works. It is probably the greatest ending to any DLC format, and I just have to raise it up. Although the Easter egg does have a bit of RNG issues, that's what makes it unique and stand out amongst the rest. This is possibly the most overhated Call of Duty Zombies map, and the root cause of this hatred is simply because people are comparing it to Mob of the Dead. This is not Mob of the Dead. I get it, it's a reimagining that's on Alcatraz Island, but it doesn't play like Mob of the Dead at all. This was the map that I grinded when BO4 came out because it was still a map that I knew, but it wasn't entirely the same. In fact, I think there's a lot of features about Blood of the Dead that are way better than Mob of the Dead. For starters, the Magma Gat is so much better than the Acid Gat. That doesn't mean the Acid Gat is horrible, but the Magma Gat is just better. And if you want to use the Acid Gat, you can still use it on this map. You don't have to use the Magma Gat. I also feel like this is the one Ether Zombies map in BO4 that works well with the BO4 core mechanics. Like the specialist system, the elixirs, everything about it just seems to work better on this map than others. The catwalk was also a cool addition. I know some people hated it. And speaking of things that people hated, the Easter egg. I did this Easter egg one time. Basically, my friend carried me through the whole thing. And yes, I gotta admit, it is like the longest Easter egg ever. But I think that's what makes it cool. Like, that is what makes this map different from all the others. There are some stupid things, okay? The bird spawns are stupid. I get it. Alright? Adding new industries for basically just the beginning of the entire game and you never go back, that was kind of stupid. I agree. But I think if you take Mob of the Dead and you compare it to this map, you're going to find issues with it because it's not the original map. The Pack-a-Punch system is the one complaint that I have in this map, like deep down, and it's because the Pack-a-Punch moves and there's no way to tell where it went to. But that's really my biggest gripe with this. If you take away the comparison with Mob, then I think that you'll find that this is a fully fledged, good Blundell Zombies map. If you're looking for a good casual Zombies experience on Black Ops 1, this is the better map over Keynote or Toten. Abso-freaking-lutely. This map added 2 new perks. We all know them, Stamina Up and PhD Flopper. And PhD Flopper is a must-have on this map with the Mustang and Sally's. You just gotta do it, man, for the experience. The map just caters more to a casual type of player, in my opinion. The Pack-a-Punch system is slightly more complicated than Keynote or Toten, but it's nothing that people can't get after one game. And the more training spots, the more wide open areas on this map, I think just make it a better option over Kino. And of course, if you want to, you can even do the small little Easter egg. It's not super crazy. I mean, it's like the first Easter egg in COD Zombies. But like I said, this is just a casual map. It brings back the Thunder Gun. You have Gersh devices. I think that this is a solid choice. And if I were to recommend any map to go back and play just to kind of have fun on BO1 Zombies, I would recommend Ascension if you just want a chill time. But this map still has a major flaw. You all know what it is. It's those freaking monkeys, man. Those things, oh my god, they're so bad. They might not be too much of a problem on the earlier rounds, but if you're going for a high round on this map, you literally don't have a way to kill it. You have to two-shot them with a Thunder Gun, or you have to let them steal all your perks, and then you kill them with like a fire trap or something. It's just awful, and it basically negates the point of buying the new perks on the map that they introduced. Of course, you could do like I'm doing right here. You could just guard Juggernog and Quick Revive because you can guard them from the same location as long as you keep that door closed by Jug. But come on, man. They're still going to steal your other perks. You got to go rebuy them. God forbid you got Speed Cola or something super far away. Yeah, man, Ascension, that's the one problem with it. But I still think it's a good old time, just minus the monkey rounds. But the monkeys do give you a free perk, I guess, which is kind of cool. I mean, whatever. And next up, we have the map that is the complete opposite of Ascension, and this is 5. 5 is a hardcore zombies map. So if you're a real hardcore zombies player, this is the better map to play on Black Ops 1 over a map like Keynote or Toten. We're talking about the launch maps, right? This map actually features an exclusive boss called the Pentagon Thief, and when you kill him before he snatches up one of your weapons from you, he actually drops a bonfire sale, which makes you Pack-a-Punch your weapon for 1,000 points. Now remember what I said with the criteria. we're going to rank maps on uniqueness, that's one of our things. This map has something unique that only this map and Classified, the remastered version of this map, have. So automatic big points for that. It also features some amazing characters you can play as, like John F. Kennedy, Richard Nixon, Fidel Castro, and you know what? Robert McNamara, he deserves some love too, because I actually know who he was, okay? He was like the Secretary of Defense or some shit, alright? So I like the characters on this map, even the boring one. The Winter's Howl is a terrible wonder weapon, but that does not mean that this map is bad. Just because the map has a bad wonder weapon doesn't mean the map is bad. That's the whole point. This map is trying to be hard. It's trying to be a claustrophobic nightmare. And on top of that, you know what? The wonder weapon sucks. Yeah, it can save you if you get caught in a corner, maybe about until round 40, but that's it. You're not going to be killing zombies past round 25 with the freaking Winter's Howl. But that's the whole point of this map. Unlike Classified, the random teleporters on this map are random. They do not tell you what floor you're going to go to. And that is good. That adds to the map's chaotic nature. And it gives this map a good flow, to be honest. The elevator placements and the teleporter placements are put in like the best spots ever, and they can take you all around the map wherever you need to go. This is one of my all-time favorite classic zombies maps, and unfortunately it just gets outshined by Keynote or Toten, which was the other launch map on this game. But to be honest, I think this map is way better than 3. This map is going to piss off a lot of people being placed so high. Shangri-La is a stellar Black Ops 1 Zombies experience. I think it's better than the BO3 version simply because of the addition of PhD Flopper. I legitimately think that Mustang and Sally and PhD Flopper make this map what it is. Playing this map with friends, running around with Stangs and Flopper is how you play Shangri-La. Now, playing with public match people, randoms and whatnot, is awful because you gotta have every single player stand on the pedestals, basically meaning that you're never gonna be able to get Pack-a-Punch. But if you play solo or with friends, it is a grand old time. The baby gun is freaking awesome, and it actually works so much better in this game over the BO3 version because there's no Widow's Line in this game, and because you don't have the BO3 crack zombies that hit you like a million miles an hour. I think the fast travels on this map are also in amazing locations. You have the minecart ride and the water slide, and even the little areas where the spikes come up out of the ground and shit, and the mud trap, all that stuff. People hate it, but bro, that's what makes this map Shangri-La. Like, how are we gonna hate? Yeah, the mud trap sucks. Okay, I've died from the mud trap before, I get it. But it's cool. That's what makes Shangri-La Shangri-La. It's supposed to be hard. If you want to play something easy, go play Kino. That's the whole point. I love the boss zombies, the Shrieker and the Napalm zombie. They're really not even that bad. It's not like BO6 boss spam where it's just unbearable. They have a presence and you can see it, but they're not so much to the point to where it's unplayable, right? Like, I think it's a super good balance for these like mid-tier bosses. The monkeys have this bad reputation for some reason of being like a terrible feature. The monkeys do nothing but help you. They pick up your useless drops like carpenters, and they turn them into max ammos. If you kill the monkey after grabbing the drop that I was going to steal, it gives you 500 points as long as it doesn't touch you. And if it touches you, it only takes 50 points, which is really, really good for setting up early on. I used to be a Shangri-La hater, for sure, until I started playing the map, and I really took it in. And that's when I realized that this map has aged like fine freaking wine. There are a few reasons why I think that the BO3 version of Ascension is better, but the biggest reason is the fact that you can have the Dead of Nuclear Winter Gobblegum, and you can kill the monkeys. You can kill all the monkeys with one nuke, and that makes this map so much better. I get it, you're using an external source like a Gobblegum, especially a Mega Gobblegum, to eliminate that part of the map, but that's the point of BO3. Okay, that's the point of Chronicles. I'm going to use it if I got it. Because the same thing applies on this map. It's super freaking hard to kill the monkeys past like round 40 or 50, and they're just going to steal all your perks. So you literally have to use some type of external factor, or you shoot the monkeys with a thunder gun 2 times, like, and waste all your ammo. Another feature that this map has is the Wonder Fizz. And the Wonder Fizz actually has 2 perks that don't have machines on the map. That being Double Tap and Deadshot. So if you get Double Tap and Deadshot, the monkeys will never be able to steal it because the perks are not on the map. There's no physical machine. I also think that these more basic, you know, type maps are just better on Chronicles. I'm talking like the World at War maps, like a map like Ascension. Just these maps were so bare bones and boring to begin with that the experience is just better with having BO3 mechanics. This is also a map that I feel just plays better with the BO3 system, and that's Moon. Okay, Moon from BO1, in my opinion, is a great map. I love playing Moon from BO1, but the BO3 version is just a more enhanced experience. I think that the Gobblegums actually work really well on this map. Just everything about the BO3 system just feels so much better. Like, the weapons are better, the movement is better. I mean, the Gobblegums help with the Easter egg. Immolation Liquidation, I know that some people hate that, okay? But this Easter egg is very RNG dependent, and to be honest, it gets annoying hitting the box over and over to get Gersh, QBD, and then Gersh again. So Immolation Liquidation, I think, is a welcome thing here. And I mean, come on. The biodome on this map is absolutely gorgeous. It is probably one of the top 5 best looking areas on the entirety of Black Ops 3 Zombies. At number 15, we have Mob of the Dead. This pick is going to get me hung, alright? But the number 15 is still good. Number 15 is a good spot, man. That means that we're in like the good / great tier maps at this point. Now, why is it number 15? I know this is in most people's like top 5 or at least top 10. I personally think that this was just the least well-aged Blundell map in terms of the good Blundell maps. So I'm not talking about maps like Alpha Omega, okay? Those maps have always sucked. I'm talking about maps that people generally recognize as the greatest Blundell maps. This one just aged the worst, in my opinion. This is a really fun map to get set up on, for sure. Because it's like this prison, like it feels like a movie, man. Like it feels like a movie when you're getting set up. You're going into Afterlife, you're shocking these boxes, you're grabbing these parts to build a plane, and then you fly a freaking like homemade plane to the bridge. Okay? That's really cool. But once you get set up, once you get your Pack-a-Punch weapons, once you get the Vitriolic Withering, once you get the Hell's Redeemer, I just feel bored. I mean, I really do. And I hate saying it like that, but high rounds on this map are boring. There are a lot of things that I do like about this map, one of them being the unique weapons that you can only get on this map. I like the Uzi, the Tommy gun, the AK-47, like these gangster guns and shit. That's so cool. I like that. I really do. I like the Afterlife system. I like how they tried to remove a crutch perk like Quick Revive and add like a new element to turn on power. I do like a lot of the stuff that this map did. I like the characters. I just can't do it once I get up in the rounds. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I just can't do it. These side eggs, like getting the free Blundergat and the Golden Spork, are awesome. I do love those things. And I also like the Easter egg, even if it is a bit unorthodox and sort of simple. Like, it's not necessarily like the other Blundell Easter eggs, but I do still like it, for sure. At number 14, we have Dead of the Night. Sorry for the low quality gameplay. I had to use my friend's gameplay from his channel because I lost mine somehow. Anyway, Dead of the freaking Night gets a bunch of unique bonus points. I love the bosses. Okay, that sounds crazy. Alright, from a surface level, that sounds crazy. The werewolf and the vampires and all that shit are cool, dude. They're so freaking cool. I love the Clue type aesthetic of this map. It's like this big mansion. It's not like a murder mystery type mansion. It is awesome, dude. Now, I do understand the criticisms of this map. The setup process, you know, you're never going to be able to get this map down without a Mr. Rothwaffle's guide. But that's just the way the Blundell maps are, man, at the end of the day. I like the BO4 core gameplay mechanics with this map. However, I don't think that it's perfect. I think it was perfected later on. But I just love the theme, really. I love the Alistair's Annihilator. People hate on the Alistair's Annihilator for, like, no reason, bro. Like, I get it. Okay, it's a little pistol. It's lame. Whatever, bro. That shit is awesome. The different types of effects that it can do just honestly sell it as one of the more unique wonder weapons. This map is definitely not for casual players. I feel like basically most BO4 maps are like this, where you literally cannot play the maps and enjoy them if you haven't watched YouTube tutorials. You can say that that's bad, and in ways I do agree with that, but at the same time, it gives the map so much more content. Number 13, we have Buried. What a zombies map, bro. This was actually my favorite map ever, like pre-Black Ops 3 when I was like a teenager. Like, to be honest, I used to love playing this map. And then I kind of hated the map a little bit over time. You know, when the BO3 maps came out, I sort of thought Buried was just like too easy, and all this kind of stuff. And now I like Buried again. Okay, I've been playing it a little bit more recently, and like I said, those unique points are going to go crazy on this map because this map has a lot of features that are only on this one. Having a wonder weapon with infinite ammo is not new, but having a wonder weapon that makes you fly around in the sky and jump over certain obstacles in the map, that is cool. That is so cool. The paralyzer is weak, I get it. It's not going to get you to round 100, I know. But it's cool though. Like, that's the whole point, right? Leroy is basically a more refined version of the hacker from Moon. Because on Moon, it's either one or the other, right? You can't have the hacker device and the astronaut suit at the same time. But on this map, Leroy follows you. Okay, you can use candy on him to lock down the box, to hold crawlers for you, and a bunch of other stuff. You can use the boost to break through the map and stuff like that. It's so unique, man. I know I say that word a lot, but it's the truth, okay? What other map has a system like Buried where you can open doors by giving a giant some booze and then he runs into it and breaks it? Like, that is so cool. The witches, although they are freaking annoying because they steal your points, they steal 2,000 freaking points from you. You want to know something? They give you a free perk. And if you use the time bomb right, you can get 2 free perks, okay? The maze is such a cool addition. It's such a cool addition. Like, and it changes every other time that you go, so it's not easy, all right? It gives you a little curveball, throws you into a little loop. How can people hate that? Like, I legitimately don't understand how people can hate it. I get it, you could die in the maze easy, blah, 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 whatever, okay? That's the point. Everything about this map that makes it special is what elevates it, in my opinion. And this map is freaking hard. Anyone who says Buried is easy has never played Buried and went for round 100, okay? Because you can't even use the paralyzer. You have to use traps in the dubstep machine, okay? Now, some people might think that's a bad thing. I think it's good because it makes the map challenging and it makes you use other methods to get to round 100. So, Origins from BO3 is definitely the significantly worse version of this map, but it's still Origins, okay? Like, you still have the same layout, you still have the same weapons, setup process, and all that. But I just don't like playing the BO3 version. I just feel like it feels weird, like there's something off when you play it. The Gobblegums completely ruin the entire harsh setup process that this map gives you. Gobblegums like Perkaholic and Shopping Free absolutely ruin, basically, the entire setup process of this map. So, like, it just kills it for me. I only ever play this version of Origins if I have friends who want to play and we just want to mess around. Nothing serious, right? But that's about it. I never go out of my way to play this version by myself when a superior version of it exists. I'm not going to go too much into detail on this specific entry about why Origins is so great. I'm going to save that for when we get to the BO2 version. So Garad Crovey definitely deserves to be in this spot. This is an exceptional Call of Duty Zombies map. Like Origins, the grit of a war zone just sells the map for me. Garad Crovey is hardcore. This is the most hardcore original Black Ops 3 Zombies map that you can play. The Ray Gun Mark III, although it is completely serviceable, does not work past about round 55, if that's right, if I'm remembering that correctly. So you really can't use the Wonder Weapon too much on this map. You have to rely on AATs, and to be honest, that is cool. Like I said, a good Wonder Weapon doesn't mean it's a good map, and a bad Wonder Weapon doesn't mean it's a bad map. It forces you to use other methods to get to that coveted round 100. And with that being said, yeah, if you have a round 100 on Garad Crovey, that means something, because this is the hardest map to do it on in Black Ops 3. The setup process on this map is very easy. I mean, you get the Wonder Weapon from the box, and getting the Pack-a-Punch is pretty easy as well, but it is a welcome addition having to sort of defend the Groth modules after they land, and you don't just automatically get it after flipping 3 switches. The harshness of the high rounds on this map are what keep me engaged to keep going. It's not like Mob of the Dead where it's just kind of like brain dead easy, you just shoot the acid gat on the ground and it's okay. This map will keep you on your toes the entire time that you're going for that round 100. I do not like the Mangler spam on modern COD Zombies, but this was the first map to have Manglers, and it works well in this map. I think that they are an exceptional mid-tier boss on Garad Crovey because they're not super strong like they are on modern Zombies where they're just unbearable. The Dragon Strike is really cool. I love the Dragon Shield. It is probably my favorite shield of all time. And the lockdown that you're seeing right here, it's just like, oh my god, just certain parts about this map that are so cool. Even though the lockdown, you could say, is kind of easy and like underwhelming or whatever, it's still cool, man. I actually like the Easter egg on this map, even though a lot of people don't like it because of the bomb step, which, I'm gonna be real with you guys, the bomb step really isn't that bad. I guess the only problem is that it can end your game, but like, it's not even that hard to do. It's just this overhyped step. And to be honest, I think that the biggest thing you gotta worry about during the Easter egg is the boss fight. The Garage Trophy boss fight is no joke, so if you don't have near-death experience, you could legitimately end your entire run. I mean, it's hard. I will say a couple years after this map released, I was actually really not into it. I thought that it aged pretty poorly, and now that even more years have passed, this map has absolutely aged well. Cracking into our top 10, we have technically the highest rated BO1 map, and that is Call of the Dead. Now, this might seem crazy to the BO1 fanboys that love maps like Kino and Ascension. This map is phenomenal. It has everything that I would want out of a Black Ops 1 Zombies map. George can be annoying, I understand that, but the reward that he gives you is so good that I actually want George to spawn in and follow me so I can get it. You can get all 8 perks by killing George. He's not even that hard to kill, bro. 2 death machines and he's dead. Okay, it's not even that bad. In fact, you actually get a Wonder Waff after killing George if you do the Easter egg. Like, you literally get a Wonder Waff, bro. The layout of this map would be terrible if it was not for the zip lines and the flinger location. They are placed in like the best spots that I could even imagine. The scavenger is underwhelming, but if you have PhD, it is a fun thing to use. It gets you to about round 50-ish. It's fun, man. What's wrong with that? I get it, it's weak. It's not going to carry you to round 100. But like I said, a bad wonder weapon doesn't make a bad zombies map. The VR11 is bad. I agree. It only kills 1 zombie at a time. It has a shitty monkey bomb effect that barely works. And a lot of people that crap on the VR11 have never used it co-op. The co-op function of the VR11 completely changes the entire game. Once you shoot your teammate with this weapon, they will have insta-kill for a short amount of time, making it the best wonder weapon on the map if you play with friends. But I get it, on solo it's completely pointless. It doesn't even really do anything at all. But this is still the wonder weapon that gets people to round 100 on this map, because for a long time people didn't even think it was possible because there's no traps. There's no other ways to get to round 100. But that is what makes this map cool to me, is this whole round 100 chase. It took them almost 13 years to achieve round 100 on this map, and to me, that gives this map aura points for sure. This is the greatest classic basic survival type zombies map ever, without a doubt, and it beats everything else out. Everything else out. If you don't believe me, all right, if you're skeptical, if you don't think this belongs here, go and play a public match of this map right now. You can find people, all right, people are still playing this map to this day on public matches, or hop on with your friends, do something, and tell me that this map sucks. Tell me that